I knew I needed resources if I was going to track down Roscoe Bob Bryant, and hunting Plumber looked like a good way to get rich quick. As the local vigilantes exposed him as the leader of the bandits, and put a generous price on his head. Plummer rallied his gang to plunder one last gold mine before making their escape, and that's where I thought I'd find him.
Been a while since we've looked at a shooter game on the channel lately, hasn't it? Pretty sure the last one I reviewed that can be called one was Mafia the Old Country, which was, dear lord, like 8 months ago now as of writing this? But I've been on a bit of an FPS kick lately, and specifically more to the point FPSs. Not stuff like Mafia, where the shooting mechanics are just kinda there, or tactical shooters where you gotta be slow and careful like Ready or Not. No, I'm talking about no-holds-barred, balls-to-the-wall arcade shooters. Hell, I've been playing some of the OG Doom lately, if that gives you an idea of what I've been into. And today, we're going to take a look at a game that's very firmly inspired by some good old Western arcade shooting. It's time to take a trip back to the Wild West to relive the tale of an old bounty hunter and his encounters with some of the West's greatest outlaws and gangs, and how he was totally the one who actually took him out. This is Call of Juarez Gunslinger.
So, did you finally go after that Bob feller?
Well, I heard word he was in Kansas with John Wesley Hardin, so that's where I went.
Where in Kansas?
Abilene. Why do you ask, Ben?
No reason.
Was Hardin as fast as Ringo?
Ringo was fast, but John Wesley was as fast as the devil himself.
Yes, I know, it's another game with a cel-shaded art style. You all know my tastes by now, I love this kind of art direction, but this game is particularly aggressive about it. I sure hope you like some intense saturation and brightness, cause that's what you're gonna get here. Still, brightness aside, it works really well at setting the tone. This isn't some serious Wild West drama or anything. It's an action-packed shooting gallery themed after an old bounty hunter retelling his glorious adventure. So it makes sense that the visual style of the adventure would be lighter and more chaotic than, say, a Red Dead Redemption type game. And the music is just the same. It's some of the most cliché Wild West tunes you could ever expect to hear in a game like this. But it sets the atmosphere perfectly well. It does its job essentially, as do the various gun and equipment sounds and the crisp footsteps and all the stuff like that. But exactly what kind of story is being presented to us here? Well, let's take a look.
Wait, I'm jumping the gun here. Let me back up and give you some background on this sumbitch. He deserves that much. Don't you think so, Ben? John Wesley Hardin was a killer. By the end, he confessed to taking the lives of 42 men. Fathers and husbands, brothers and sons, men with families who cared about them. He was a bona fide folk hero by then, and had amassed a gang of armed miscreants and other assorted thugs.
As I hinted at earlier, the game follows the old bounty hunter Silas Greaves, a man whose adventures have long since been retold over and over in a number of dime novels across the country. He enters a saloon and is immediately met with question after question about what's true and what's made up in the novels by the patrons. So he sits down and tells his story, his personal quest for revenge against some outlaws who wronged him, and how he just so happened to meet and fight against some of the most notorious characters the Wild West has to offer. The story does feel very fanficky, in that this totally original character, Do Not Steal, has just sort of been inserted into the real histories of people like Billy the Kid or the Earp Brothers, to make him seem even more legendary. Which, yeah, is part of the point, but I'll admit it does feel a little ham-fisted at times. The The way it's told is pretty funny though, with Silas narrating as you play and occasionally getting interrupted when other saloon patrons comment on his story, and he says something like, "I'm getting to that part, hold your horses." All in all, it's rough around the edges, but it gets the job done, and it's certainly not why we're here anyway. Why we're here is the gameplay.
I thought I was some kind of hero.
Gunslinger is an arcade shooter in just about the most explicit way possible. It's not just an action shooter or an adventure game with shooting mechanics or anything like that. No, the way I would describe the game would be like if the rails of those on-rail shooters from the actual physical arcades were taken off and you could explore the limited levels of your shooting gallery, which is ultimately what this game is. It's a series of action sequences and set pieces with enemies you gotta gun down with speed and precision to earn maximum points, only doing very slight exploration during those short bits in between the shootouts. And what you get from that exploration, aside from the occasional ammo crate, are collectibles that offer you little nuggets of actual Wild West history that you can read about in your menu, so you know I absolutely approve of that. But most importantly, how does the gunplay feel? Well, it's pretty dang good. It's fast, snappy, it's got all the cliche Wild West gun noises that give these firearms their impact, and the cel-shaded art style allows for the impact to be enhanced even further when you land a clean hit. It's really about as simple as that, although there are other features. It's really about as simple as that, although there are two other main features. For one, this game has a concentration mechanic, which is essentially just Deadeye from Red Dead. You build up the meter by shooting enemies and then hold down the relevant button to enter a bullet time mode that allows you to better aim your shots for a short time, as well as dodge any bullets coming your way. There's also a luck mechanic, in which a bullet will get really close to hitting and killing you, but you have a split second of slowed down time to dodge out of the way and stay in the fight. And that's pretty much how every level goes, aside from the occasional set piece and boss fight. At the end of each level, however, you do have a duel with the famous individual you're currently hunting, at least for the most part. These duels can be difficult to do legit, as the game is doing everything it can to mess with your concentration of both keeping your little circle reticle trained on the enemy, as well as keeping your hand in proper position for reaction time. And it can get pretty damn frustrating, I will admit that. Especially when you think you managed to do it right and your bullet either misses or you end up with a dishonorable kill, which lowers your score. Or the game just doesn't tell you that you're not supposed to actually land your shots and you're supposed to just be dodging the bullets. Pardon? Still though, aside from that part, I'd say the gameplay is all around a pretty fun, if simple, arcade shooting gallery.
How come you know so much about engines?
A few years back, I was married to two Mescalero women.
At the same time?
Yeah, they were sisters. Polygyny is traditional among the Mescalero.
So what happened?
Oh, I had to get out of there. Those girls never shut up. Both of them nagging at me all the time. Drove me half crazy. Haven't seen them since.
No, I mean, what happened with Grey Wolf?
Oh, well, I pursued him into the Cave of Death.
And that is Call of Juarez Gunslinger in general. It's a rather simple game, nothing too big or complicated here. Pretty much the epitome of a AA game from the 360 era, when games like Bulletstorm and such were also coming out. A respectable but not groundbreaking piece of gaming history, if I do say so myself. This has been TheRatMan, and I will see you all later. And lastly, a special thank you shout out to Mike Uniturtle, Scarlet, and Dizzerat. Thank you for the $5.